Hey guys, welcome to In the Closet. So this is just a weekly episode of what's happening around in sports. This is In the Closet Sports. Um, Basically, I'm gonna just be talking about sports and everything that's happening around in the world, but mainly focusing on sports and every correlation to sports, whether it's through life news, anything that's going outside. And it is August 28th, 2023, and we are going into the election cycle, the political cycle. So everything's going to be ramped up, and this is going to be probably a time where all the sports figures will have to step up as far as getting the next elected official, whether it's the same person or whether it's someone new. But this is just in the closet sports, where I'm just gonna talk about things that are hitting the net as we speak, and there's a few things. Since this is August 28th, we're just gonna cover about football right now. We're gonna do football, a little bit of the FIBA, what's going on. As far as with FIBA, a couple of upsets. France got upset by Latvia, which shocked me, as they were my favorite to win. I had them beating U.S. in the medal round, but they didn't even qualify for the medal round. But that's just something we're just gonna talk about a little bit later on. But let's get into it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we're just gonna cover a few things, as I said before. So let's just get to it. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing my voice, but I am happy to be here with you guys. So let's just cover a little bit about football, what's going on. Um, as we all know, the Chiefs won last year, and they are the favorites to win it this year again, according to the betting site. Let me pull that up for you. As you can see, we are looking at Chiefs at plus 600. And this is coming from. Ooh, what is this coming from? I'm sorry, I gotta click into it. Oh, FanDuel. Okay, cool, 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 cool. This is coming from FanDuel. I gotta get my logo. I was looking for the Vegas one. They'll go DraftKings. I know this is for sure DraftKings. But everybody has them the same at plus 600. They are the favorites to win. You can place your bets if you want to, guys. The Eagles, because they did play last year, they got them coming in, and I don't believe they lost anybody as far as any key pieces. I mean, the only person they probably I would say would lose was that corner that held on Juju. But if anything else, they didn't lose anybody or any key pieces. So I can see why they're up there, but their division is pretty hard. I don't know. In the NFC East, I am a Cowboys fan. It's like my second favorite team. The only reason why they're my second favorite team is when you're rooting for a team that's losing over and over again, you tend to develop a second team that you root for, and it's the Cowboys. But even when I was rooting for them, they still wasn't very good. I am a Dolphins fan. Love Miami to death, and we did have years where we were losing a lot. So I had to, go to America's favorite team, America's team, which was the Dallas Cowboys. But they weren't winning as much either. But it was just good to see Tony Romo and to see that transition. And then now we in the Dak Prescott era. And are we gonna win with him? I don't think so, but at least he brings that threat of contendership there to Dallas Cowboys. But as saying that, that's why I don't see the Eagles probably getting there. I mean, they do have good odds, but the NFC is so hard. It's one of those things where you can have the Reds. I call them the Redskins, the Commanders. You have the Washington Commanders. They could come out and they have a solid team. If the quarterback is serviceable, I believe they could be a threat in the division. You have the Giants. The Giants did pretty good last year. They made it to the playoffs, and it was a team nobody was expecting to make it or be a contender. And once they get that situation done with Saquon Barkley and whoever, they have a legit chance of getting that division lead. The Eagles, as you know, are a great team. Jalen Hurts, a great running quarterback, a person who can throw the ball, who who can get the ball to the receivers. And their defense is just spectacular, but I don't know. I have the Cowboys. I got Mika Parsons and that defense tearing it up, and I got that offense humming. Especially with Dorsett at running back. I got them humming and getting behind that best offensive line, and they need to pay Zach Martin. Hopefully they paid Zach Martin. He's he's a 99 on the Madden. That just tells you how good of a lineman he is in real life and how they project him. But we'll see. All right, next we got that's just the NFC East, but I got the Cowboys getting out there. Not as far as the Eagles making it. I don't think they're gonna be that good this year. As far as record wise or in the division, I believe it's one of those things because now they made it. They're gonna be the hunted, and usually in the playoffs, it's usually a team that don't make it back to the playoffs or sniff the playoffs the next year, and it's the Eagles. I can probably guarantee you it's the Eagles, but we have the Bills at plus 900. I like that. They got third best odds. I believe that's probably the only team I believe the Chiefs would have an issue with. And if Von Miller come back to who he was, or at least 80-90% of prime Von Miller, that's going to be a scary team. And they're in the same division with Miami Dolphins. And trust me, I've seen the Bills be relentless on both offense and defense. They have the corners, they have the defense, they have the line. And it's very that linebacker core is serviceable. Matt Milano and the other one, I forgot his name. They're very good, but serviceable. And so with the third best odds, and then you got that offense which they can score elite offense. It's just elite offense with Josh Allen back there. Yeah, the sky's the limit. I think last year they were like the pre-Super Bowl favorites coming into the year. Do I see them doing that? Yeah, I see them probably making it to the Super Bowl this year because they're not going to be crowned that Super Bowl favorite. They're going to be contenders, but they have a lot to prove, a lot of chips, especially with that disappointing playoff exit against the Bengals. So I believe they're going to come a little bit hot, a little bit more spicy. And I still remember that Stephon Diggs picture of when they lost to the Chiefs. They lost to the Chiefs due to Tyreek Hill and that big run. And Stephon Diggs just sitting out there and looking at them celebrate. I still see that picture, and I believe he's going to avenge that this year. And that would be exciting to see the Chiefs and the Bills battle out in the AFC Championship. That would probably be a dream scenario and probably a moneymaker for the NFL. Two of the best teams, two of the best quarterbacks going head-to-head for that chance to win a Super Bowl ring. 49ers. Now, this is my Super Bowl favorite along with everybody, plus 1,000. If I was a betting man, I'll probably put my money into that. Brock Purdy, I don't know what he might do this year, but even if Brock Purdy doesn't do great, I still think that they'll get that win. They'll be able to generate wins with a Kyle Shanahan offense and that defense just being ridiculous. Yeah, I feel like they're the favorites at plus 1,000. That'll probably be a good bet. Bosa, we're gonna see how he doing. I know he's been holding out as of lately, but if he come back, yeah, there's the sky's limit for them. I see them. I pencil them in as a favorite. Like Brock Purdy got hurt last year in the NFC Championship against the Eagles, and yeah, the Eagles dodged him because yeah, they dodged it. They had McCaffrey at one point being the quarterback. So yeah, the Eagles dodged one. And this year, if Brock Purdy could hold up healthy, I mean, for some reason, the Kyle Shanahan offense, as the case with the Dolphins offense, a quarterback cannot stay healthy for some reason, and especially with this concussion protocol, it's even harder for you to have a fresh body to just throw the ball to where it need to be at, and for someone who knows the offense. And yeah, for them to trade Lance, I didn't want them to, but they do have a backup quarterback who's pretty good. He used to play for the Jets. I forgot his name. I think it was number 3 pick. His name is slipping my mind, but he's a good option, and he has a strong arm, and he could get the ball to where it needs to be at. Sam Darnold, he could get the ball where it needs to be at. And if you need a quarterback, that's probably the best quarterback as a second string, in my opinion. I mean, there's probably more, but if you had to get a quarterback and almost hedge your future to it, yeah, you'll probably do Sam Darnold. Strong arm, USC kid. Why not? So 49ers are in good hand. It's just quarterbacks cannot stay healthy, so it'll suck. You trade Trey Lance, and I know he wanted that to happen, but eventually he was going to get his time through the last later in the season. Look at Brock Purdy, third string quarterback. He came in last year. Dolphins should have drafted him. He was a Dan Marino fan. Like, we should have drafted him. He would have been perfect, better than Skylar Thompson. But I'm not tripping. I love my little Skylar Thompson. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it for us. But as far as Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy, that's where we at. As far as Brock Purdy, yeah, for him to go from third string to number 1, that's successful in itself. But we all know what that second year can do for you. So we'll see where that goes. But these are basically who we have. The Bengals. I go on and on. The Cowboys. They're in the top 10 as far as Super Bowl concerned. The Jets, Aaron Rodgers, Ravens, Lamar Jackson, the Super Bowl, not a Super Bowl, but the MVP, and he got a big contract. Lions, that offense is ridiculous. Jared Goff and that offense is ridiculous. Even last year, during that late surge that they had, that almost landed them into the playoffs, that offense was just different. It was different, and Jared Goff has a command on that offense. So, and Dan Campbell as the coach, yeah, it's like a perfect pair. Dolphins there, as long as Tua stays healthy, we could probably make it there. We'll see. Jaguars pretty good. Seahawks, I don't know about Geno making it this year again. I think a lot of teams will be on the lookout for him, knowing that what he has. And so I don't see the Seahawks. I really see the Seahawks probably drafting another quarterback next year. I don't see them up there. The Browns with Deshaun Watson, I want to see how they go, but it just might be a one-man team with the Browns, and it's just going to be a Deshaun Watson show and nothing else. And that's not going to lead into any wins. But some spectacular plays here and there. Saints better than the Vikings. That's somewhat surprising, but maybe the Vikings lost a lot of people, lost a lot of key players. That's why the Vikings are this low. They're like next to the Broncos, Broncos stunk it up. But these are the teams that round it off, and the last is the Cardinals. We'll see what Kyler Murray could do. But as far as the odds, I think this is pretty spot on, but I do have the 49ers and Bills going to the Super Bowl. That's my pick. Quote me on that. Let's see what happens. Hopefully there's no injuries with the 49ers as far as through the quarterback. They just need one of those two to play, and they'll get in. And with the Bills, yeah, and Josh Allen, as far as Josh Allen can take them, they will make it. But we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. All right. So, tell me what you think. Tell me if I'm out the closet with it, or if I should stick that back in the closet. But yeah, we have the 49ers as the Super Bowl champions, and well deserved. I don't think Kyle Shanahan is gonna do another meltdown. Hopefully not. The 28-3 and whatnot. We'll see. But I don't think that team will have a meltdown. I think they will actually get it done. They got some closers. And we'll see. We'll see what carries. But yeah, 49ers and Bills, that's going to be a nice little high-scoring game, and I can't wait for that. That's what I believe. That's what I see. All righty. Let's get on to the next one. So next one, we're going to talk a little bit about the FIBA. I'm not going to talk too much about FIBA. What Today I was watching the game. France lost, and I was just super disappointed. I believe in Rudy Gobert. I wanted that man to actually win. I wanted him to at least talk his smack, get to where he needed to do, and translate that success overseas back into the league. Like I said, Minnesota paid a hefty price. I think they traded like 5 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, and I don't believe he was as effective. I think it took away from the team per se. I mean, they did make the playoffs, but I mean, it was the AFC the year before, so they didn't have to trade the picks, and it takes away. I know Cat wants him because it takes away from him having to be that center. He could be that stretch 4, 5-ish type player, and he don't have to go do the dirty work to get the rebounds and play that defense. Although he probably can do, he probably do have the tools to do it, but I think it takes away from his skill set on the other side of the ball, and I think he conserves all that energy towards the other side of the ball. But yeah, with France, back to FIBA, with France, yeah, that was very disappointing that they lost and they can't possibly they can't play for the middle round. But they were my team, as you can see. Let me pull it up for you. They were my team to go. I was a little disappointed, but it is what it is. Let me see. You can't win them all, right? You cannot win them all. All right, but let's see. I do have it pulled up, and let's get to it. Alrighty. So as you can see, the odds, France, boo. We just gonna kick them out. They were my favorite, so I'm wrong on that. I'll keep that. I'll keep that in the closet. I ain't coming out with that one for sure. But with USA, they're being the favorites, and they did win by a lot today against Greece. I mean, there wasn't no Greek freak, but his brother was there, so that's close enough to the Greek freak. And yeah, they weren't able to do anything. They lost by like 28, and Austin Reeves played a hell of a game. That's probably one of the best second round picks ever, if ever. But we'll see what he does in the season. But if he continues his momentum and carry it on, I am a big believer. If you go overseas to play the FIBA or the World Championships or whatever it is, gold medal rounds or however, whatever you say, if you go and you play against the other competition and other nations, I believe that translate well into the season. I usually when I do fantasy basketball, I usually like pick players. That's my recipe, is picking players that did some good numbers, did pretty numbers, because that usually translate well. And they played players. They played although they're not A-level players, but they're playing B+ players. And in the NBA, I don't believe there's that much of a talent gap from the level below. I've seen ballers who didn't ever make it to the NBA, and I'm pretty sure they put heads. If you look at the Drew League, you'll see Frank Nitty's and them dropping on Harrison Barnes, and dropping a whole bunch of points on them. So if you do good against these B+ players, or let's say B players, B-level players, case in point is the guy from Utah, Lauri Markkanen. He had last year. He played in Euro League or whatever it was to qualify for this year, and he was dropping about 27, 28 points, and I sure behold, I drafted him. I think it was him, Greek Freak, and it was someone else. I believe I forgot, but I think I got 2 out of 3 of those players, and they did well in my fantasy league. And Lauri Markkanen had a career year last year with Utah, so they're great indicators in my opinion. But let's get back to these odds. USA, yeah, Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man or Ant, yeah, he is probably going to be a top 15 player next year, if not challenging for maybe the the top 10 player, at top 10. He's probably going to be close to top 15. I see him probably, yeah. He is that guy. He is that guy. I've seen him play. Uh, my nephew who used to play ball in Georgia, they seen him play, and he's no joke. But yeah, just watching the games and him having these highlights. I usually watch him through highlights. He'll come on ESPN, have a top 5 play on ESPN, and make these highlights. But his game is coming on consistently, and he's working with these coaches, Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra, who's they're gonna tax him. They're gonna see what he has, and they're gonna put him in roles that's awkward to him. And things to see where he at and to see how he can level up. So he's gonna come different. He is gonna come very, very different with Minnesota, and I hope it works. But yeah, the city, the city might be too big. It might be too big for the both of them, man. I think they might side with Ant. I think you could win games with Ant instead of Cat. So I mean, they might like to have both. I mean, you can have both, but um, unless Cat is willing to take that sidekick that sidekick role, that Robin role, he might be looking for a new team, or they might make a mistake, and it might be a mistake if they keep Cat and say Cat's the long term, and you let Ant walk. Don't let him get to the Heat. Heat culture is different. Don't let him get to the Heat. Don't let him get to other teams where they'll be able to maximize his skill set. And you can see on the world level what he's doing. He's damn near the closer. I mean, Jalen Brunson is excellent player, a very excellent player. I'm still wondering why Dallas let him go the way they did, but he's an excellent player. But Ant is that closer, and if he come out there win the gold and he do a couple game winners, if there is close games, which I believe there will be, then yeah, Team USA may have it. Canada got a nice NBA size team. R.J. Barrett, Dylan Brooks, and SGA Shea. Yeah, that's gonna be tough. But the games that they've been playing has been pretty close. So I don't know if they've been gelling, and I don't know if they could gel in time for the middle rounds. But we'll see. But Canada's pretty decent, and maybe they're just saving their best towards later, because you don't want a team that's already starting off hot, because then they may cool down, and that may just kill their whole confidence. So for Canada to be starting off a little bit cold and still winning their games, and if they could rev it up by the time middle rounds, then yeah, it might be a good challenge for US. But yeah, I got US in the finals. I had France and US, but France just choked, and you can see they're number 3. But they choked, maybe because they had Victor Wembanyama or whatever it was. But yeah, that didn't look too good for as far as just the basketball optics in France. Australia, I don't know who Australia have. I only know they got Patty Mills. They probably might have a couple good other players. But I don't see Australia doing anything. But I gotta watch their games. Spain, same thing. Just going off of who they have, and they do have a couple of players. The Holman Gomez, the guy that played in that Adam Sandler movie. They got them. So maybe they might make a challenge in Spain. I like how they roll their offense. Their offense is pretty good. It's pretty. It's like the European feel. Like if you know what European basketball is all about, you watch a Spain game, and usually they're playing at maybe the highest level of a European game of basketball, or a FIBA game of basketball. It's just US has that athletic profile to go behind what they may not know as far as just that type of basketball. Slovenia, I forgot. Oh yeah, they got Luka, but that don't say pretty much. So yeah, Luka, Serbia, Greece, these teams, Germany, ain't no Dirk. Lithuania, Italy, Brazil, yeah. Yeah, U.S. got this. They probably got this. I see them winning a few games. If they do face Spain, it's gonna be a harder game. But I think their talent, will prevail. As long as Ant don't choke. If Ant take that next step of being a closer, which I think he is, yeah, U.S. gonna win this. But yeah, I got to keep this one short because I went over with the NFL and who I had picked. But yeah, Team USA got it for FIBA for just this. For this, I'll probably keep in touch next week to see what's going on, what's the updates, and what's going along as far as with football and everything else. But yeah, we'll see. There is college football, but with college football, the thing about college football is you got the same three teams that's gonna make the college football playoffs. I'm waiting for next year when they expand the system to, I believe, what was it? Is it eight teams? Is it 8 or 16 teams? Or yeah, whatever they expand it to next year, that's just gonna be excellent, and that's gonna be hype, and that's gonna open the door for almost any given Sunday type feeling. So it's gonna be any given Saturday where a team is gonna win. But as far as the college football playoffs this year, we already know Georgia's gonna make it. I don't care what quarterback they have. They got the talent. They got the 5 stars. They got the recruits. We know Alabama. Alabama's gonna be always in and out of it. It's out of Georgia might be in and out. Maybe they might lose a few games this year. If they do, then that'll be excellent for college football. But I don't see Georgia losing more than one game. I don't even see Alabama losing more than one game either. They're just gonna reload, and especially with the quarterback that they're gonna have, we'll see the impact that Bryce Young had at the quarterback position to see if Alabama can reload with another quarterback, and if he struggles and they lead to a couple lose games, then we'll see how much of an impact Bryce Young had. But Alabama, just by the talent that they have and the recruiting class that they came with last year, which was crazy. Yeah, they're gonna repeat unless they face a quarterback who's that dude. You know who's that guy. But yeah, it's just gonna be usual suspects. I'm looking at maybe um, yeah, Alabama, Georgia. They're gonna make it. They're gonna be their two SEC teams. Um, it's always a wild card team, so I'm gonna just leave that. I don't know who. I know it ain't gonna be TCU again. It probably might be maybe Texas. Oklahoma. We'll see what Venables do at Oklahoma his second year. But I think Oklahoma might lose a few games. Yeah. Texas is the only team I can see that probably can do it. They do have the quarterback, and the quarterback he's pretty good. They probably could have beat Alabama last year if he didn't get hurt. Their first year, Quinn Ewers, if he didn't get hurt, he probably could have did Texas probably could have did something nice last year. But yeah, Texas, probably Texas. But yeah, I don't see any other team as far as those are just wild card teams, if that. But they're just gonna beat each other up. Um, but it's gonna be Georgia, Alabama, and maybe we already know it's out of Ohio State or Michigan, whichever win that game. But I got my money on. I have money on Ohio State. I think they lost last year, and I think they lost a few years to Ohio State. They usually have those close games with other teams. They all look real good, look like world beaters, and then they'll face some subpar teams, and and it's you know what I'm saying. They don't do too good, or it's always like a nail biter. But maybe that'll probably be good for them as far as knowing that they're in there. But last year when Ohio State made it, or yeah, when they did make it, they were excellent. I mean, they were Marvin Harrison concussion away from beating that team. You know what I'm saying? So they came excellent. They played against Georgia, and it was perfect. Michigan, we'll see. We'll see what that power run and that amazing defense that they usually carry out. We'll see if it can translate well against the league that they're gonna play. But yeah, I don't see any ACC teams. Not even Clemson. I think Clemson. That Clemson football is that prime. I think is done. They will be a consistent 10-win team, 9-win team. But I don't see them. They don't have that talent that they did. That talent, that, the Deshaun Watson and that D line that was just 4 first-round picks and all that. They don't have that anymore. It could be due to recruiting or whatever, but their recruiting is pretty strong and pretty solid. But they don't have those difference makers that can translate them into wins. And sometimes you just need a few, two, 3 difference makers. Those who they're gonna come out and they're gonna change the game, and they usually have that. But Clemson, nah, not this year. So, and that'll be surprising if they do. But I see them losing. I actually see them losing to Florida State, and I hate FSU. I'm a UM fan. I want Miami to go undefeated, but probably not. They're probably best is probably 9-3, 8-4, in my opinion. If we win 10 games, that'll be amazing. Get that recruiting momentum, and bring back the dogs back to UM. But yeah, I just got Georgia, probably Alabama, Ohio State, and whoever's that fourth team that nobody sees coming. It might be a Pac. Nah, I lied. Pac-12 is over with. Pac-10 or whoever they are now, it's over with. But yeah, it might be just another team from maybe ACC. Maybe we might see a Florida State, but we'll see. We will see. But those are my three teams in the college football. And if I had to pick a wild card, it'd probably be Texas. But we'll see. I didn't want to talk too much about them. So I'm going to go to my last topic as we're going to end this pod real soon. And this is I want you to see the clip and listen to the clip, and you tell me what you think. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what I'm about to get to. But let's hear him.
You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals, and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times, but that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that one. I do not know how to feel about that one. I mean, to me, he should have kept it in the closet. That's one of those things you just keep it to yourself and you just go back in the closet. I'm gonna just give him respect. I think he was coming off a win in the 200 meters, and he blew everybody out, and he was excellent in it. He tends to show off a little bit towards the end of the race, but that take about and you're attacking a whole nother sport, so a team sport at that too. And I'm pretty sure track and field there's teams apart, but usually it's just based off of your individual performance. And yeah, it showed that he never played any type of team ball. And I'm pretty sure he didn't watch the NBA because he would have seen who the champions were. You know what I'm saying? He would have seen who the MVP, who was raising that trophy, and trust me, he would have known. Yeah, it's the NBA is probably one of the best leagues as far as you knowing about the international players and them doing a great job of scouting the best of the best players to come and play in the league. Yeah, that was probably one of the worst takes I've seen. He should have kept it in the closet to me, but you guys tell me what you think. Um, yeah, the Nuggets won. Nuggets won. Nikola Jokic. You know what I'm saying? The Heat had a few players who came from that side of town. Nikola Jovic came from the same country as Nikola Jokic, and it was their time, man. And I'm pretty sure the Nuggets probably do a great job in grabbing a few players and developing a few players that come from different countries. So for him to say that and be like, look at that. And I know the reporters were laughing, like, they wasn't laughing with him, they was laughing at him as like, yeah, he just don't know. He doesn't know how great NBA has reached on a global level, from China to different countries, and them actually having the players go to different countries to enhance that awareness about the NBA, and having these players come over. You got the Joel Embiids coming from Africa. You got all these players, Antetokounmpo from Greece, like like there's players in the draft every year in the top 10. Luka Doncic, all those players that get drafted from different countries, and they're the best, and they actually play in those other countries' leagues, and they're playing at these leagues, these top leagues, and making, doing points and dropping points, And even I think what Lucas said it easier. Like it's easier to score in the NBA than where he came from, and that was one of the top leagues. But the best players play in that league, and they do a major job of using their sources to grab the best players. Where 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 it increased the awareness of the brand of the NBA. So for him to say that statement, that was pretty crazy. You could tell he don't probably watch basketball. And I guess he probably seen a hat that said world champions. And by right, yeah, NBA is the top league. They should do a thing, and I hope they do that one day where they do the what the you what the teams do in soccer or in football, and they get some of the best teams to pull against each other, Superliga, or I think that's what they call it, or the Super League, or I forgot. I sound so dumb saying that, but that league where they get the best clubs, and those clubs are. They get the best clubs. Which clubs? These clubs are of people from different nationalities. They come play together to see who's the best team in the world. And I think NBA should adopt that. They should have that intertwined. And I know Adam Silver maybe one day might get to it. And I think he was proposing or leading up to something like that soon in the future. Where and I don't think NBA should field the best teams like the Golden State or who's ever the top team at that time that do get formulated and let them compete against the top teams over there. I think they should get like the bottom tier or to make it more competitive, make it more entertaining. Because if they go and field a team like the Bucks with Antetokounmpo and whoever they have against like the best Euro leagues, yeah, they're gonna smash. They're getting beat. Bucks probably beat them by 40, 50 points. And they usually do that. NBA usually do that where they go in the preseason and they let their B level players or the second level players go and play against these exhibitions with these teams. And usually, these teams are winning by a lot. I think one year they had James Harden in Houston when he was with Houston Rockets, and that was a nail biter. I think they had like James James Harden playing in the fourth quarter at one point in time, so they could whatever, and that was probably interesting. But I think the NBA should adopt that into their regular season, where they feel teams that probably don't have a chance to make it the playoffs or playing teams go over there and play against the top talents and the top teams, and you'll see how world of a sport the NBA is. And I'm pretty sure Noah Lyles probably wouldn't say as much, but kudos to him. He won his 200 meters. I'm pretty sure when you play ball or when you're running and sprinting, you're too tired, and sometimes you just say things, and maybe just off of the confidence of him winning, and you get that energy, that ecstasy to say whatever. You're on top of the world, so he got to say what he said, and I actually have like these what is it? These Twitter posts. I probably don't have it anymore. Oh well, I had it, but these NBA players going at him, but it's probably for the best that they didn't. It's probably for the best. Yeah, it's probably for the best. I know UD was like, yo, I'm a big fan, but this ain't it, and I know Damian Lillard was like, what the hell? Like, come on, like, relax. And I know Kevin Durant went hard at him, and even Drake said something across the lines today about that. But yeah, that wasn't a great take, and I think he should have kept it in the closet. Should have formulated a little bit right. He need to be right here with me. I tend to say a couple things that's a little bit, a little bit out there. So he needs to come sit with me, and we gotta sit and we gotta talk him from late what was going through his head and things like that. And maybe it might be best of buzz because that was a in the closet moment. And on that note, I'm gonna end it. Thank you guys for staying here watching it. I will be doing this weekly, but mostly I'm just gonna be revolved around reaction videos, what's going on in sports. Also, we're probably gonna be doing infield action as far as talking to people, seeing a couple things, whatever floats the boat at the moment. But this has been In the Closet, and welcome to the Haters Network.